Hi guys, it's Ray from Ray's Turquoise Turtle. Today I am going to start a brush stroke look tumbler. I'm going to be using a bunch of vinyl. So I have these that I've cut into about 5.5 by 3/4 strips. I cut them down with my paper trimmer. I'm going to keep them handy in case I need to cut more, but I did pre-cut 4 of each strip. So my first step is going to be, and I'm going to try and lay these in no particular pattern, overlap them a little so they're not all thick or thin, but I'm just going to hand place them about 1 inch down from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. These are all permanent vinyls. It doesn't matter if they're matte or glossy, like the green I used is a matte. And this one is a sparkly one, because why not? Because they're thin strips, it's just easier to go ahead and hand place them. And I'm not worried about this messy paint job because that's all going to get covered back up. I keep working my way around. So I'm getting close to being completely around. So I should be good with the number of strips I cut. I just want this to be really fun and bright. Okay. And almost there. And I cut the perfect number of strips down for this. So I don't want this one to be wider than the rest, so I'm going to trim just a tiny bit off rather than trying to get it back under that edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my paper trimmer. And cut just a little bit off and lay it down. So overlapping for this one, this is a 20-ounce thick. I used 4 of each of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vinyls. So I'm going to go ahead and get a coat of epoxy on this, and we'll come back and show you that. It's just going to be a regular coat of epoxy for this step. Okay, I am ready to get this coat of resin on here, and I haven't decided yet what color I'm going to end up with at the top and the bottom. I'm going to flip through my spray paints in a little bit here. I won't be able to do that step till tomorrow if it's not raining anyway, so I've got some time to think about it. But I mixed up a bunch of resin because I have one more that I'm starting new, and then I have 3 that are on their final coat ready to go over here. So that's why I have so much mixed. This is not all for this cup by any means. I had started one of these before. I actually have one that's like half finished that I should grab and show you. But I started one before. It actually might have been this cup that I peeled everything off. I didn't base coat it white, and I had taped it off when I spray painted it, and whatever the tape I used and even though it was prepped, I ended up chunking up the resin with the tape. So I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. That one had this one had like Christmas patterns and stuff on it. Not really Christmas patterns. It had buffalo plaid and some other complementary vinyls, but it went sideways. This one won't. So I just really liked this pattern vinyl, and I really wanted to do something with it. I'm going to do something else with the rest of it at some point. I'm currently waiting on an order of 20-ounce skinnies. So when those get here, I will come up with something else. So that's it for now. Let me see if that one's reachable. I can grab it. This is the other one. This has some opal glitter over it. This is in my, I mentioned that I have a ton of cups that need finishing. This is one of them. So, but we're going to head for something similar to this. I haven't decided if this one will get glitter on it or not. And maybe I'll bring this one back in when I'm finishing this one and finish that one as well with some kind of decal. I was kind of thinking some Stay Wild decal for both, or Stay Groovy or something for this one and Stay Wild for the other one. So I'll probably bring that one back in and finish that with this one so you can see both. All right, thank you. Okay, I am ready to go get the spray paint on this. I'm going to do this one if this will spray. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. I'm going to do Seaside underneath, and then I'm going to go over with this purple on top of that. So those are going to be my two colors. And then it's going to get this decal. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back with this one. But this one that I'm finishing up, I want to show you a little bit better what happened. You can see spots where it lifted initially. I mean, they're not terribly noticeable, but I know they're there. But there's just a couple of them. That's why I put the glitter on it, to hide most of that. So this one is getting this little Stay Wild with a little cheetah print decal on it. So I'm going to pick a spot. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I like this section. I think I like this section right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on there. I already have my decal cut and weeded and transfer tape on. So. I'm just going to get it semi-lined up. I figured this one would look cute on here because there are some animal prints on this one already. The zebra you can see clearly. This patterned one did have animal print on it too. It's just you can't see it as much now, but so I'm going to burnish that down really good and let this one sit a minute, and I will be back. Okay, so I am back to do the next step of these. I did want to mention, and I should have done it before I decaled it, and I wasn't thinking. I did sand this all down because this is from my shelf of started months ago and haven't finished. So I have a bunch of these that you're going to see probably over time, not this style, but different cups. Epoxy forms a bond two ways. It'll form a chemical bond or it'll form a mechanical bond. A chemical bond is when your layers of epoxy stick to themselves and form into one on their own. A fully cured tumbler like this was at that stage, because it's been sitting in the closet for months, will not form a chemical bond. So it needs to form a mechanical bond. So scuffing up the surface gives it that chance to make that mechanical bond. It's very important if you have a tumbler that's been sitting for a long time that you sand and prep that surface again. So that is what I did here. Now I'll get to the other one. I have my cradle here so I can set the cup down. I'm going to put a piece of parchment over it because sometimes it sticks to the foam a little bit when it's fresh paint, because it's still slightly tacky. It did start to sprinkle as soon as I stepped out the door, naturally, as soon as I started to spray, so I do have some little water bubbles, because why not? So I have just some regular acetone. This is my preferred. I get this at Walmart, the Onyx brand, 100% acetone from the nail polish section. It's what I prefer. So, and I just have little rags. And what I'm going to do is just, I usually use a t-shirt for this, but I don't have any little t-shirt pieces handy, and I didn't feel like going and digging through for another junk t-shirt. I'm going to spin this. There. That way you can see it better. I can see it better. And I'm going to get all of that overspray worked back. And worked up. Now I can kind of see in some spots where my vinyl comes down to. I don't want to go past the edge of the vinyl, because then I'll have to go paint it again and start over. So I'm just going to start working it back. And I'm not going to wear gloves for this. I'm not going to have a super long exposure to the acetone, and the acetone will basically just eat through the gloves anyways. So. And I am not sure what this little white pit is from. Interesting. I don't remember seeing that before. So I may end up putting my decal over that spot. But I'm going to get the center cleaned first. And you can tell it's sticking to the parchment a little bit. And I'm going to frequently change out my rag. That is basically the center cleaned. I'll keep an eye on it as I continue. So I'm going to start with a fresh rag. And I'm going to gently start drawing the top up and the bottom down some. And this is what I'm going for. I want a little bit of that blue underneath showing through. So this is where you have to be kind of gentle. And I'll clean up the center again when I'm finished. But you want that kind of ragged edge. You have to be pretty careful. But it gives it this edge like you hand painted brush strokes on. Or almost makes it look like you tore your vinyl strips. However you want to look at it. I'm going to go through and clean some of this up again. Just to eliminate that cloudy film. And I'm not going for a ton of the blue showing, just a little bit so it's there. Really like that. If you want to do some finer details or lines, you can use a Q-tip instead of a rag. I'm going to start on the bottom portion. Again, I can see where that line is, so I'm going to steer clear of the line. I have my acetone in a cup because I don't know where my little bottle for acetone that you've just pushed down is. So that's why I'm working from a little cup. And I'm just pouring a tiny bit at a time. It's very much like how you would do a geode. Okay, so I don't really want to go too much more with the removal. So I'm going to go through and clean it up again. I'm going to get some of this off of here. Gonna look for any really bad spots quick. Okay, so I'm actually going to grab some alcohol quick. And just regular 91% alcohol. I'm going to get a rag covered with alcohol. And I am just going to quick, because I got to, I'm going to wipe it down with the alcohol. That'll get any of that residual back off. I'll also prep my surface for my decal. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get the decal on here. It should be good at this point for that. So I'm going to put this on this side, try and cover up that little funky white mark. Alright, so I'm going to turn this again so I can see a little better. And I'm going to make sure that dog hair is not under my decal. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. And I'm just going to let it sit, let the vinyl stick good, and let any residual acetone and alcohol evaporate back off this cup. So I will be back in a little bit and we will get some resin and probably a little bit of glitter, because I do like the way that looks on the other one. We'll get a little bit of glitter on here. So I'll be back. Okay, I am ready to get some resin on these. So I'm going to bring this one in first. I have a cup of epoxy here. I'm going to put some of my favorite Girl's Best Friend cheat in here, just to give it a little extra sparkle. So just shake a couple shakes on. You know me, I can't help myself. If it's already sparkly, why not make it a little more sparkly, right? So, and I don't know that I have enough resin mixed to do both cups in this little baby cup, but I have another cup. I have more resin mixed because I have some top coating to do. So, don't be afraid. This one's just getting a somewhat heavy coat because this is a little rough at this point. And it will probably get one more clear coat tomorrow. Don't forget the bottom. Put the cup down so I can hold the turner a minute. This is just pretty rough. The coat before this wasn't exactly super smooth, so. It's got a couple of high spots. And I'll be honest, it's not going to be perfect when it's done. It's probably still going to have some high spots and a little bit of ripple. Just gonna run my hand around the rim. I did sand the rim down when I sanded it before, so it'll have a good seal. So that one's coated. I'm going to slide it out of the way over here, and I'm going to come in with this one. And I am going to put some chunky glitter on this, like I said. Slide that right into the other cup. That was good. Just missed it. And I'm going to go ahead and mix up just a tiny bit more. I'm probably not even going to give it a shake of glitter though. There's plenty of glitter on the cup already. And it's getting more in a second, so. So I do want to get this fairly well smoothed out before I add my other glitter. I'm okay with the glitter migrating some, but I don't want it to run all over the entire cup, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. It's tilting up a little bit, so this one might get a little bit of a fat lip. Maybe it's a little better now. Okay. All right, so that's good. I'm going to get my gloves off, and I just touched my wrist twice, 3 times. I'll get you back in frame here too. I'm gonna grab a baby wipe and clean my arm off quick. And when I am done, I will go wash up with my sugar scrub, just to be on the safe side. I'm also going to wipe the table underneath here quick. I just touched the cup. Forgot these are my shorter turners and this is a thicker cup. Alright. I'm going to grab a piece of paper. And I can find one. No paper in the printer and no loose paper. Alright, so I'm going to use my Cloud 9 cut glass glitter for this. I'm about out, so it's not going to get a ton. I know. Just going to get a glove on because I'm probably going to end up spreading the glitter by hand. See, I don't have much left in this container. And I'm not sure if I have more in a baggie. But I'm just going to give it a little sprinkle, because I don't want it too glittery. I do have other similar glitters. I really like the look of this particular one. It's a very thin, more translucent, iridescent glitter, if that makes sense. I'm going to throw a little bit at the bottom, literally. tilt it a little bit. I'm gonna watch it come around. And get any spots I might have missed a little bit. Like I said, I'm okay with it creeping a little bit above the paint line or below it if it's from the top. I just don't want to do the entire cup with the chunky. It's got enough sparkle between the sparkly vinyl and then the sparkly. That may have been a little too much in that spot. So that is it. Probably done showing you this one. It's going to cure, it's going to get another clear coat, and then it should be done. But I am not going to bring you back for a clear coat. You see it every time, so, or enough times that you know what it looks like. But I am going to bring you down quick and let you see. I accidentally shut the camera off when I took it down. So, here we go. You can see that little bit of sparkle on the decal. Feeling groovy. My mix of vinyls I used for the base. The bottom just sparkles. And I'll bring you over and give you a close-up of this one. You can see some of its little flaws and imperfections. This was my first attempt at this style, and there were things I did wrong. Like that little crack in the vinyl there. They end up kind of blending into the distressed look from the paint, but and the little decal Stay Wild with a little bit of leopard print. So there you have it.